So what are the challenges for the technology startups?
Because real estate is a little bit slow adopting industry, it takes time. It takes time to train the market.
Tell me, what are the qualities that CTO should possess?
So it's very, very important for the leader to be able to communicate with the right stakeholders inside the team as well. Communication is the biggest key. On the Vietnamese aspect, right, like on the Vietnamese market aspect, it's very important because when the developers start, they are recruited by big companies. Your question that in the future, those basic skill sets, would they be needed? You can always use AI to support you.
You mentioned AI and the new technologies that how Hoozing is going into this space.
People are like able to experience how large language models work, how AI can actually contribute. So of course, at Hoozing also we develop products for real estate agents.
Those people that want to have this role in the future, what would be your advice to them?
The important thing is that try not to be afraid. Yeah.
Hello, Michael here. Next to me is Akshay, CTO and co-founder at Hoozing, a PropTech company pioneering in creating transparent real estate market through technology breakthrough.
Yeah, thanks for having me here, Michael.
Hoozing is a PropTech company pioneering in creating the transparent real estate market, promoting easy and quick transactions through a technology breakthrough, right?
That's correct. That's correct. We started Hoozing in 2015, and so it's almost like 9.5 years now. And we started to make the market more accessible, transparent, and hassle-free for people, like so that people can find apartments easily, people can rent or buy properties easily.
And what made you to find a technical startup? Is it your background? Is it your school? Or
yeah, so my background is electronics and communication, so I studied that, electronics and communication engineering. But then I came to Vietnam, I worked in some positions which were more on the business side. And then I founded the company, Hoozing, with my co-founder, Hai. That was the first time doing some kind of software development. I started with a simple website, but slowly it gradually became a CMS, an ecosystem, having multiple apps, native apps, cross-platform apps. So yeah, I think gradually over the last 9.5 years, I have been embracing technology and building different products.
so what are the challenges for the technology startups? What are the first problems that you approach?
For technology startups in general, you mean?
Yes, in general, and of course for you as for PropTech.
Yeah, so talking more specifically on Hoozing side, on the PropTech side, yeah, it's very important for us to see how we can implement the technology inside real estate, because real estate is a little bit slow adopting industry. Penetrating it through a technology or through some tech solution, it takes time. It takes time to train the market, to get them using it. So we had to gradually do that. Like I would not say that Hoozing is 100% a technology company. It first became an operational company, which was able to create good agents in the market, which was able to train the market to have real properties, real images, 360, real information online, and not like clickbaits. And then once we set that standard, once we had our own internal agents becoming good, then we started expanding the technology into the usage for the agents as well as the customers. And so I think that the biggest issue here is that the industry is kind of like a slow adopting industry. And I think that that's how most of the verticals adopt, slowly.
So it's always about the user and the user experience. So do you think, it's my personal opinion to be honest, that the user experience on average app is actually very low? When we take the phone and we start dealing with the apps, we see problems. You cannot log in, you cannot do things.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yes, I think like it's very important to have a good user experience as well as a user interface for the apps and the web we make. I was like recently listening to a podcast where they were saying that generally when you are making a product and if you are the only one who is giving feedback to it, then you are able to just listen to that music by yourself. You are thinking you are singing very good, you are thinking that you are like playing a good tone, but actually it's not a good tone. It's only in your head. When another customer he just hear taps. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is a great segue to ask you the question that actually is the most important for me. Since we are trying to give important things for the aspiring CTOs, future CTOs, tell me what are the qualities that CTO should possess? I mean, beside purely tech skills, what the CTO should understand?
I would say that there's many levels, but every leadership role, like even if there's a tech lead, even if there's a PM, even if there's a director, the CTO, all of them, they need to possess some qualities which are important for the tech teams to work, right? And the biggest one is communication, like communication internally and communication externally. Externally, they need to be able to talk to other departments, communicate well in terms of like deadlines and delays, how they handle stuff, right? In terms of internal communication, they need to be able to tell their teams what are the key blockages in the software development. They need to be able to redirect the teams into working on the things that are needed at hand. So it's very, very important for the leader to be able to communicate with the right stakeholders inside the team as well, like where they have to ask the team lead to allocate more resource, where they have to ask the QA to do the testing or give results. So I mean, like, communication is the biggest key. The second thing I think will be a CTO need to have a vision of the product. They need to understand like why we have this product, right? What do the customers want? What does the company serve? And on a long term, what does the company want to achieve by their product, right? So if they are clear about those answers, then they are always guiding the team in the right way.
Meaning CTO is also managing the product, right?
It is about managing the product. Like I think if we can create a culture that every single person in the team is actually caring about the product, I think that's a win-win. That's the winning thing for a CTO. So if the person is not available, let's say I'm sick, let's say I have to take a sabbatical, something like that, the team should still be able to understand what is this product's main goal, what is the plan, where are we heading, why these features are important. If not, if the team is not on the same page, everyone is not having a product mindset, then it's just kind of like an outsourced company, you know, like.
Yeah, and this is like honestly very typical for a question that I heard in Vietnam. Are you a product company or are you a delivery company? And do you see that it makes sense, or is it something that that does not have a real meaning?
From my experience, the outsourced companies, they do give the opportunity to the developers to grow fast, learn fast, fail fast. However, I also see that people are a little bit frustrated. Developers, when they work for 5-6 years, they are a little bit frustrated with their work because in an outsourcing company, they are rarely able to contribute to the bigger picture of the product. They're always working on certain parts of the product, right? So, yeah.
So my understanding is that you are trying to say that you must be in the product side to develop a real career, to do the real step, right? Spend more time on something that you built for a long time. Right?
Yes, I think that once a person gets into a product kind of mindset and they are able to make decisions on a product kind of mindset, they actually become more ambitious. Like they want to do a little bit more with their time, and they don't only focus on having like honing certain skills and just focus on that. They want to do a little bit more. They want to grow it a little bit more. So once they enter into this product scope, then they have so many different career paths to choose from.
So the aspiring CEO should go this way, right? Should go product way and be with something for a time that will give the understanding. And like we spoke before the recording, that there is a difference between just doing simple things that you can find on Stack Overflow and architecture, right?
Yeah. Correct. Once it's on the Vietnamese aspect, right? Like on the Vietnamese market aspect, it's very important because when the developers start, they are recruited by big companies, right? And these big companies are training them into that kind of like mass development phase So they have like quick understanding, but they keep switching the products. So in the end, they are not able to see the full picture. Once they are like fed up with that kind of learning, or they have gained enough skills, they choose companies which are product companies. Of course, product companies are also paying more than outsourced companies. So they switch it, and once they switch it, they are able to contribute more, learn more. Your question that in the future, those basic skill sets, would they be needed? Actually, with the rise of all the AI and machine learning, I think that basic coding, developing websites, developing like basic infrastructure, for these things, you can always use AI to support you. You can use Copilot, you can use different kind of tools that are coming up. However, like to really contribute to a product, or as well as like become immutable, like not obsolete in the future, it's very important for these teams or these people to learn the architecture, learn deeper inside how the product is being developed, how the data flow is working, how the software cascading is there, like how the cascading of the software development is there, because that's something that I think cannot be 100% replaced. It will always need people to give input.
Meaning you believe there will be no less technical jobs in the future, right?
The current jobs might become obsolete, but like there will be new jobs which would be related to machine learning and AI. So people would have to upskill themselves. Is one of the things that I was also thinking, that like in the past we would have like HTML engineers, we will have CSS engineers, but now it's all grouped into front end, right? Front end is something that you need like different stacks already. The HTML you need to know, JavaScript you need to know, TypeScript you need to know, right? And then backend is a group. But maybe in the future you need a full stack engineer, and that's the minimum requirement, right? And then you need machine learning to augment it. So you can have DevOps plus full stack, you can have MLOps plus full stack. And so these would become the norms, because below that you can always use products in the market or AI in the market.
Sounds right. At least I agree 100%. You mentioned AI and the new technologies that we are facing. It's a good segue to ask you about Hoozing. How Hoozing is going into this space using the new toys on the block.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for asking that. Yeah, like the last 2 years, I think it's quite exciting since ChatGPT is out and people are like able to experience how large language models work, how AI can actually contribute. So of course, at Hoozing also we develop products for real estate agents. So we do have like some generative AI implemented. Actually, agents can use our software actually to take the pictures and create a collage, create a video. So it's kind of like video editing or image editing, but like quickly and based on certain templates, like AI templates. So it takes the pictures, it takes the details, and it creates output from that. Apart from that, we also have ChatGPT implemented inside the tool. So, you know, like real estate agents, they have to always write the content for sharing on Facebook or on Zallo or on listing websites. So we give them the content generated immediately by ChatGPT, right? So they can just select what kind of tone they want, and then it fills up all the details of the apartment, and then it generates the content.
So we got another profession that actually gets easier through AI, right? So
yeah. I mean, like it's very important for us to understand what are the key pain problems of the customer. Once you understand the key pain points of the customer, then you can utilize AI to solve those pain points. So in this case, they were spending a lot of time writing content for each property, but now they don't need to do it, because as soon as they open the property, the content is there. They can just copy and share, right? So,
but what gets my attention here, you are an engineer, you are a CTO,
yeah,
and you are speaking so emotionally about the product and the users.
Yeah.
Is it the key to success?
Yeah, that's my learning in the past 9 years. It's very important to understand customers. It's very important for us to understand our product. In the last few years, I have started like going out, sitting with agents and agencies to actually understand what are the key pain points, right? So these kind of things are very important. If you are at a C-level role, a CTO role, but you're not going out meeting the customers, then you would not be able to understand what are the real pain points or what are the real opportunities that are there. Sometimes we are developing stuff, but the market doesn't need it. It's just fancy, it's just a good feature. But unless you go out in the market, you go out and see, does it actually solve a problem? Then you cannot make the decision. So it's good. Like, of course, there's many processes for doing user interviews, user surveys, and stuff like that. But every now and then, we should go out and meet our customers and
know real
and
problems,
use the product ourselves. You know.
Yeah, I agree. We said that you are a CTO that see the big picture. Actually, the question next is the opposite. Do you think that the CTO should be hands-on, should write code?
That's a good question. I think that early stage startups, or when you are just starting up a company, if you had the chance to become a CTO at that time, or if you're starting the company yourself as a technical person, a technical lead, you should do hands-on. Yeah. Because at that time you really want to set up the pace of the product. You also want to have the right technologies, tech stack that you choose for backend, front-end, APIs, structures, right? So if you are able to take those early steps correctly, then you avoid a lot of technical debt for later. So I think that in the beginning, it should be a little bit hands-on because you are able to control the early deliverables, right? Slowly, gradually, I think 1 year, 2 year, 3 year down the lane, I think there can be people, seniors, who can come into the team, who can share the vision and then continue to develop on the principles that you set.
Sounds great. And what about the aspect that the people in the team trust you as a technical person? This is something that I'm also missing. Do you think it's important?
Your question is that how...
I mean, building the trust between the engineers and the CTO and the leads on the way. So how you feel this should be constructed?
Okay. Yeah, so I think that the biggest thing that the CTO can share with the team is actually the vision of the product. Like always guiding them, telling them why their work matters, what feature they are building, how does it impact the overall team. Like how does it impact the overall results of the company? If the CTO, if the leader is always sharing those that vision, like at every now and then, like at every event or every touch point with the team, so then the team has alignment. Like it's like a compass, right? So it needs to be there. The second thing I think is also like letting even the juniors and the intermediate level developers taking some responsibilities, like they are trying to work on certain new features which might be good. Doing some kind of like brainstorming hackathons is also good for the leader to work with the juniors and intermediates, so that like they have a bigger picture and a bigger contribution to the company.
I agree. Also, this is something that we are absolutely aligned. Let me go back again to the property technology sector.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's with the declining economy at the moment, there are opportunities in the PropTech or?
That's a good question. I think that the whole COVID thing, of course, it tested the market, especially in Vietnam. It helps. It made us like neutralize. Okay, whatever is like crazy going up or it's a bubble, it neutralized that, and so the market is a little bit cautious at this time. They don't want to invest too much, they don't want to buy too much, so of course the property sector is a little bit slow, and if property sector is slow, then people investing time and effort in tech is also a little bit slow, but we see some early signs of recovery. I think the interest rates are going down for the bank. People are thinking of buying. Things are moving, metro is starting to run. So I think like there are some good key points. I think by the end of this year, the market seems to end of 2024, I think the market seems to return. And so early next year, I think things should be back. However, yes, the market is kind of slow. But at this point, it's never too late. Like I think this is also an opportunity for us, Hoozing and other PropTech companies, to capture the market. Open up the scale of the company, give out the product, let people use it, so that when the market returns, we can see the result.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Next question is back to CTOs and those people that want to have this role in the future. What will be your advice to them? What they should do to be great CTOs?
The important thing is that try not to be afraid. Yeah. If you have an opportunity, just go and take. If you're young, take it. Me and my co-founder, I started Hoozing at 23, right? So that was 9.5 years ago. I had the opportunity, and when it presented, I took it. I didn't think too much what would be next, and I would never regret that decision because it taught me so much in terms of software development, in terms of tech development, product development, and also about the market. So yeah, don't be afraid. Second thing I think would be try to keep yourself updated. Try to keep learning new things. Yeah. So last 3 years I have spent time to learn machine learning, computer vision, NLP, large language models, and I think that it's very important for a tech leader to always sharpen their knives because every 2 or 3 years you will get blunt, and when you are blunt, you cannot do anything with a blunt knife. So
and you can still stay hands-on if you start another startup, right?
Yeah, correct. And also, it can be spin-offs for the same company as well. Like you can also like build some things by like I mean like even right now I think that Mark Zuckerberg, if he's not putting his hands-on time into Facebook, he's still doing some extra bit of code or extra bit of things for Oculus and other things to see the integrations. And I think that's very important. If you are if you are abreast with the latest technologies, I think it's very helpful for any company to grow. And I think that's the biggest things. I think that some people misinterpret CTO level position as a purely business or management role. And I think that it should not be that kind of role only. That person needs to be able to do some things, build some things, and that will keep him not becoming obsolete, him or her. Yeah.
Absolutely. Being able to do things, being able to understand the bottlenecks. This is my point of view. So we are saying the same things. Yeah. Thank you. Now I have a series of rapid questions, just simple answers. If you want to give us more info, shoot me, shoot our viewers.
Okay.
And yeah, let's go for it. So the first is, what's your favorite tech tool or app that has significantly boosted your productivity at work?
Yeah, of course. Nowadays, ChatGPT is the biggest thing. ChatGPT, Gemini, I think AI assistant. But I would say, like in terms of productivity, Trello is also good. Let me correct that. In terms of productivity, Notion is also a good tool.
Notion is amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, like Notion has increased the scope of things that you can do instead of just to-dos or checklists. Like it has so many more options. So I think Notion is my new favorite.
Absolutely. The next question is, if you would not be a CTO, what role you would pursue?
I would love to be a maker. A maker in the sense that I can build things. My major is electronics, so I love robotics. I love making 3D printing stuff. I love building
to the
stuff. Yeah, so I mean, like, I love that, right? And so if not a CTO, I will be building stuff somewhere.
What are you most grateful for?
Most grateful for? I'm grateful for my parents, my grandparents to like inspire me to learn, always keep learning new things, because if you don't learn, you don't move, right? So I think that's very important. Yeah, every year I try to learn one new thing. Like 1 year I learn Japanese, 1 year I learn machine learning, 1 year I learn how to go to the gym. Yeah, so
cool.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Two last are, what's the best advice you have received?
Best advice. Best advice would be, yeah, don't be afraid. Keep moving. Keep moving ahead.
Keep moving. And the opposite, the worst advice you received?
Yeah, the worst advice would be like, don't take risks. Risks are not good for you. I think that if you do not take a little bit of risk, you cannot succeed in life. You're going to succeed as a tech leader for sure.
Actually, we spoke that Hoozing is a PropTech company. Can you explain our viewers what actually PropTech means?
So PropTech is actually a vertical technology. So there's many industries. For example, there is marketing industry. So marketing industry with tech will become marketing tech. So MarTech, right? Then we have sales tech. We have health tech, med tech. So similarly, PropTech is property plus tech, right? So whenever you are building technical solutions for the property industry, for the real estate industry, it will be called as PropTech. So under that, there's many versions of PropTechs, like there's simple listing websites, there can be data evaluation websites which like evaluate properties. There can be maps where you can locate some properties which are good for people. So there's many different verticals. Like there can be also house management, like property management softwares for developers, for service apartments. So there's many different options under PropTech.
Do you consider the intelligent home applications also a PropTech?
I would say so. I think IoT is a segment of IoT is like Internet of Things is also a segment of PropTech. So having smart homes, building temperature sensor, like implementing temperature sensors or smart doors and stuff is also kind of PropTech. They will integrate into the vertical under a bigger ecosystem of solutions.
Thank you, Akshay, for sharing your valuable perspective. And we invite our viewers to follow you and Hoozing at your work and beyond.
Thank you very much, Michael, for the invitation. It's good to share. If you are looking for apartments, please come to hoozing.com. Thank you very much.